this will be the last and final wave for Bitcoin for this bull market. The Bitcoin buying window has been closing up, and right now Bitcoin is headed to this level next. We'll need to be explaining that exactly. We'll need to talk about that short term because we are trading in a weekend again, and we have been seeing this breakout to the upside. So a lot of things to discuss in today's update video. So as always, let's get started with that short term. And in that short term, Bitcoin has been beautifully breaking back to the upside again, breaking above this previous resistance. Of course, previous support has been turning into resistance. We've been having a hard time to be breaking back above this level. Eventually, we did break above it, and right now we are pushing even further to the upside. So this is starting to look very good for that short term. Like we've been saying, still the Bitcoin funding rates are trading negative. This is causing for all of the liquidity, for all of the Bitcoin liquidity to be getting piled up on that top side. And we do know that Bitcoin usually tends to go towards a place where the majority of the liquidity is sitting at. So right now still liquidity is piling up on the top side because of the Bitcoin funding rates, and it is just going to be likely for Bitcoin to push even higher. Now do keep in mind that right now Bitcoin is trading inside of another weekend. Usually during the course of the weekend, we tend to just consolidate at around that semi-close price, which in this case is sitting approximately at that 96.9k level. So consolidation at around this level during this weekend is just going to be expected. Now anyways, for after this weekend, I definitely do think that Bitcoin is going to be pushing even higher in the coming few weeks, and that this leg to the upside is going to be our fast and final leg for this Bitcoin bull market. Now, I do think it will be explosive, and we'll be talking about the price targets a little bit later in today's video. First of all, it is going to be pretty important to understand that the market is getting back to these greedy levels. But I think right now should actually be the time where we want to be greedy. We've been at these fearful levels for a very long time, like we've been saying, and I've been accumulating a lot more during these fearful stages in the market. But right now still, I think during these greedy stages, it is still going to be a pretty good time to be greedy in the market, because we are pretty likely just going to be headed even more to the upside. Every single time whenever we have been in a stage of fear and then coming back up to a level of greed, we've always been pushing higher for the Bitcoin market, and we've always continued our momentum. So right now, I think the same thing will be happening, and we should actually be greedy at these current levels, like the market sentiment is currently at. Now anyways, the Bitcoin funding rates are still negative, like we've been talking about. History is just being repeated over here. Now if we're going to be having a look into history, maybe potentially we can be coming back down to that 50 daily moving average to be retesting this level, like we've been doing the previous few times. When we have been closing up this buying window, we've always been coming back down to the 50 daily moving average, and then we were headed even more to the upside. So let's see if the same thing is going to be happening once again, or if we're going to be pushing to the upside right now already. So yeah, that is still looking very good. It is still looking like Bitcoin is going to be headed even higher. We are just repeating this Wyckoff schematic at the same time. So like we have been talking about, it doesn't really matter what's going to happen in that imminent short term, whether we're still going to be retesting that 50 daily moving average or not. I still do think that Bitcoin is going to be pushing much and much higher, and we are going to be reaching these new all-time highs. I mean, Bitcoin is just following that global liquidity with a 105-day lag. So that's why we can put that global liquidity with a 105-day offset, and then we can still see that Bitcoin will be following that global liquidity, and we can predict the general direction for the Bitcoin market. Because yes, I am using this indicator as a general direction, but here that general direction was to the downside, and right now the general direction has been flipping from the downside to the upside again, and we are going to be trading in this uptrend for the Bitcoin price. So generally that trend for Bitcoin is going to be to the upside. We have been buying Bitcoin beautifully at the bottom over here, flipping previous resistance into support. We have been seeing this bullish MACD indicator cross, and every single time we have been seeing this, we've always seen around a 70% to an 80% rally to the upside. And if we are going to be seeing the same exact thing, I think we're going to be setting ourselves up for a rally to about 130k Bitcoin. I think at that point, we are going to be creating a double bearish divergence, and then we're going to be topping out for this cycle. Because keep in mind, at this current moment, still 0 out of the 30 bull market peak indicators have been getting hit. But I think whenever we're going to be reaching this top again, we're going to be reaching these new all-time highs again at around that 130k level for Bitcoin. I think then we're going to be reaching our price target, and we are pretty likely going to be looking for some kind of a bull market top at a double Bitcoin bearish divergence. So that's going to be one thing I will be looking out for. Right now, it's all good for Bitcoin. I still think we're going to be headed much and much higher, but this will be one of our last opportunities for this Bitcoin bull market, because after this leg to the upside, I will be scaling out of the market massively. I will be scaling out of my altcoins, will be scaling out of Bitcoin, will be scaling out of crypto in general massively after this last leg to the upside. So keep that in mind. Anyways, for now, all good. Right now, the Bitcoin charts are still looking amazing, looking very good. I think Bitcoin is going to be headed for this new all-time highs again, even if we're going to be seeing some kind of a rejection from of these current levels. Well, still, I think we're just going to be printing a higher low, and we're still going to be headed even further to the upside. So that would be a very good opportunity if we're going to be printing that higher low. We'll be looking out for that. So if you are going to be getting interested in trading yourself as well, make sure to be checking out that first link down below, because with the first link down below, you can still claim $150 free trade completely for free. So be sure to be checking that one out with the first link down below. Anyways, like I've been saying, for that longer term, we are just initiating that next leg to the upside right now. And after this correction, I think really the altcoin season could be starting. This has been happening every single cycle. Right now we can be seeing that the DXY is crashing to the downside. So we are entering this risk on stage again. The Fed has been slowing down quantitative tightening very massively. I think we are about to pivot at this current moment. And also, if we're going to be having a look into history, every single time during the last and final correction, well, after that last and final correction, Bitcoin has been pushing to the upside again. And that final leg to the upside has always been the moment where altcoins have been rallying like massively. So everything is just brewing up massively. Everything is just adding up and lining together very beautifully for an altcoin season, for that last leg to the upside, where we can be profiting massively from the market and we can still make a lot of money. So yeah, we'll be waiting very patiently for that. I still think that the Bitcoin market is looking beautifully for us. Congratulations if you're still sticking around in the current Bitcoin market. I've been saying this many times. A lot of people have been leaving the space during the last correction, but congratulations if you've still been sticking around. This should be the time where you want to be paying attention. Anyways, guys, with that being said, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to reach that 20k subscribers. But guys, I'll see you in another market update video tomorrow morning. And guys, bye-bye.